Hi there, Miss Stewart.
Hi.
Welcome aboard. Hello, Miss Brink. Hello, Miss Ogwumike.
What's up? What's up?
Welcome aboard. Sit back, relax, and get ready for the flight of your life.
Thank you.
Thank you, Z.
Thank
You're welcome.
I mean, this is diamond. This is a diamond experience.
Get your miles up.
On behalf of Delta Airlines, it's my pleasure to welcome you on board. My name is Anya. I'll be your captain today. Please turn your attention to a special message.
Oh, shoot.
Both the kids were at the pediatrician getting like a normal checkup. And all of a sudden I hear her like cry, "Mom!" And I'm like, "What's going on?" And so I turn and she's literally starting to cry because the pediatrician told her she was gonna grow up to be 5'10". He's like, "Cameron, you have to understand, both of your parents are tall. You're going to be tall." She's like, 5'10" is not tall. I want to be taller than my mom. I have to be at least 6'3".
That's funny.
When Nneka was younger, she's always been the fun sister. I remember one time going to the store, I came back and there was a big hole in the wall. And apparently she was giving her little sisters rides on a rug up and down the stairs a little bit too fast and almost went through the wall. So that was Nneka.
Whatever Bree did, whatever Bree had a passion for, she soaked it all up. And she really did it with basketball, and she worked at it.
Really, 6th grade is when she started playing, probably about 12. We'd send her to camps and she was always like, "No, I want to be an artist." But you could tell that there was something there. She is so competitive. She couldn't stand that the boys were beating her.
Nneka started playing. She went to a basketball game and scored 50-something points. The parents were like, "Oh my God," and they were calling people from the street to come in and look at this. Nneka had no clue what she was doing. She was just helping her team. She scored 50-something points.
She just dominated it. When she got probably to be about 9th, 10th grade, she just took off.
People would recognize her. She was the, what did they call her? The mean, lean blocking machine.
It was just nice to see her as she grew up, not be afraid to let people know who she is. She wants to be a good role model and stand up for things that are, just right, because it's right.
Oftentimes society wants us to be competitive. There's only one seat at the table. There's only one spot for us to be successful. What I've learned through Nneka and through our sisterhood is it's more important to be collaborative than be competitive. Nneka taught us the game. We used to play 1-on-3. I don't think we ever won. Nneka was that good, but she taught all of us everything that she knew. I always tell people Nneka's not a role model, she's a goal model.
Wait, did you guys know that they did that?
It's okay.
Oh, Kim.
I know, it's like emotional. I was crying for you guys too. I was like, you guys were so cute. What happened?
What about that? I'm about to say, where?
I'm kidding.
How do you guys feel like Kim, like baby Kim?
I know.
So cute.
I'm just an emotional person. I've cried like 20 times watching this. And I cried when I thought I was gonna be 5'10", so. We're all very close with our parents. I was like competitive with my parents, I still am, and I just wanted to be taller than my mom. And I've played my dad one-on-one, and I was like a sophomore in high school when I finally beat him. So it always comes.
He was serious about it.
Yeah, no, it always comes back to family for me. Now they both need knee replacements, so they're just like, now I'm trying to beat you and Stewie, so. But yeah, it's really like all these full circle moments are crazy.
And I think it's interesting, like looking back at high school and college, like the sacrifices that we had to make to like miss things.
Yes.
Or to go to tournaments or to be traveling. Like my dad would drive me like 4 hours on a weekend just for AAU practice. It was like we went up and down, up and down, up and down.
Yeah.
But it's like if you want something so bad, you have to go after it. It's hard to explain that to kids now.
Maybe at the time it didn't feel like so much of a sacrifice because of how much we loved it, and then
felt normal.
It felt kind of normal, and then you look back and you're like, oh wow, no, like I was certain about this.
Yeah.
It's worth it because we wanted to be great. Once I knew I could be great, that's something that I'm just always chasing.
Right.
You know, you're not comparing yourself to anyone else except yourself. And how can you or I or we continue to be better so that everyone else is better?
Right.
And I just love Shanae. She's...
She ain't. I'm just joking.
But what do you think about what she said about women always fighting for one seat at the table?
She talks a lot about us being groomed to believe that there's only one spot for the woman. Yeah. Especially like as Black women, it's like, oh dang, like there's really only one spot for a role like that. But we weren't raised to believe that, you know? And I think that having the hunger and the humility has taught us not only to work twice as hard to get half as far, but to ensure that we're not the only ones that we're taking along for the ride.
Tara would always tell us this, probably every single day, what your dad says.
His quote.
Every disappointment is a blessing, right?
There was no conversation about being a professional athlete. Everyone was like telling us like, oh, she's gonna go number one. She's gonna go number one. And we're just like, number one for what?
First pick in the 2012 WNBA draft, Los Angeles select Nneka Ogwumike, Breanna Stewart, Cameron Brink.
Denied, another chance, it's good! The LA Sparks have slain the Mighty Lynx!
I went in, you could tell they had the momentum of the game. And I said to the person next to me, give Nneka the ball. Give Nneka, that's all I was saying, because that is what Nneka is built on.
She's done it all. She's won everything. She's been MVP. She's the face of like lots of things.
This is my kitchen floor.
That's hilarious.
And that's just because I have nowhere to put it.
You know, we've had so many pinch me moments because in our minds she's still the 7-year-old kid, right? Who you're goofing off with and playing games with. Every milestone is an out-of-body experience. So, you know, when she won the national championship in college, and just getting into the league, it's hard to digest how far she's come.
You know, Nneka is always going to work to be the best of the best, to be the most elite top 1%.
She's playing when she's 34 years old. Points to the fact that she's in great physical condition and she takes care of her body. She takes kind of a long view of things, and she could play until she's 40. It speaks to her passion of the game, that she really loves to play.
She definitely has grown tired of the narrative, you know, that you're too skinny, you're not this, you're not that. And so when she steps on in between the lines, she's like, I'm going to show you that I'm strong and that I'm powerful. I'm skinny strong.
You got to answer back with some toughness. You got to answer back with some magnanimity, with some grace, and see how she's been able to provide a good example. She understands that a rising tide can lift all boats, and that's something I'm really proud of her for.
Breanna Stewart and Nneka Ogwumike are two of the most incredible, outstanding women in women's basketball. These two really are just great role models for a young player like Cam, who is incredibly talented.
I feel like women's basketball in WNBA, she wouldn't be here without her. Her effort, her being persistent, trying to fight for everybody to get things better. And sometimes I tell her, like, maybe you don't jump on that call and you chill. It's like, no, I need to make sure I'm there because I want things better for the league.
What makes the WNBA super unique, it's just because they have like that collective consciousness within the league, and I think they all have commonalities and, you know, their backgrounds in some way, where they came from, their beliefs. You know, they're able to come together for a common cause, and like it's easier for them to create change like that. A lot of the things that Nneka had been working for 10 plus years were going into fruition, you know, this past year. You know, we needed to pat her on the back, but for her it was like, okay, what's next? Let's keep going.
Wow, that was unexpected.
I'm glad Tara added me in there.
I was like,
where's my love?
Nneka, I feel like you've done so much in your career on and off the court, and so much more is going to be happening. But like as you try to map out your career and your life, how much longer do you want to play? Because I feel like you can play until infinity, you know what I mean?
False, but I appreciate it. I have goals that I still want to meet, and I think that that is also a part of what drives me to be able to come every day and play to the best of my ability. You know, for me, I can't necessarily tell you what age. I can tell you that I don't plan on playing till I'm 40. I just
She said doesn't plan. That doesn't
I don't
mean,
plan
that
on
doesn't mean she's not.
Yeah, I don't plan on it, but I do know that I want to leave the court. People be like, 1 more year. Like, because, you know, but I'm very grateful for that. And it didn't occur to me that there was politics around kind of like body image when it was linked to like ageism in sports, because, you know, you use your body to perform. And it's interesting how kind of people like talk about you when you get older, even when you feel good, you know? And there's so many different ways to talk about body image. I mean, like your mom was talking about skinny strong, and I agree. Like, I feel like strength is not uniform. It looks different in so many different ways. So as someone who is young and someone who's experienced injury early, you know, and has had a lot of conversation around like what they think you should look like to perform, like how has it affected you?
At first, I feel like it really affected me and made me question my ability, but yes, I'm lean, but I can still perform at a high level. So I think I'm slowly but surely learning to not value the opinions of others that I don't know. And I think people can be shamed for being any type of body weight, type, size, anything, but you know, you just have to focus on you and what makes you feel good. If I put on 10 more pounds, I wouldn't be me. I would be a completely different player. So I think it's just finding my equilibrium and what feels good to me. So
I really do feel like that bubble season, you know, my sister's talking about like collective consciousness. That bubble season was kind of like a culmination of me truly understanding what that meant. That's one thing that I'm just so grateful for when it comes to the W, like us having this collective understanding while also still being able to maintain different perspectives that leads us to a universal impact for ourselves and like for other people.
What makes our league so special is the fact that, you know, we can all be on different teams, but when there's something that we're fighting for or standing up for, we all come together, like no questions asked, no matter what. And from my perspective, because I came into the league in 2016, you know, coming from college and going to the WNBA, and it's like, I'm trying to find my own voice. And also, this league is, everyone is using their platforms not only for themselves, but for something bigger. It's just empowering and helped me find my way. And then you fast forward to 2020, the bubble, the way we, you know, continue to honor and represent Breanna Taylor, till now, you know, like as women, we're always constantly fighting, and we're gonna continue to fight for more, whether it's for those before us or those coming after us.
Right. We're not gonna shut up and just dribble. We're gonna.
We wish we could.
We wish we could.
But we can't.
No, we can't. We have more that we want to fight for as a league, and I just want to be as helpful to my teammates and be a voice for them. And yeah, it truly is more than basketball. This is just a vessel for us to show the world who we are and what we care about.
I think that, you know, you're right. Like it is a vessel, and we're always fighting. But I definitely do think that what separates women's sports, especially a league like the W, is that we are naturally equipped to kind of be adaptable and transform anything that comes to us into the success that we so want to see in this league.
That was like the highest pressure situation I've ever been in.
So I think people just need to give others grace because they don't know what people are going through.
It's the best league in the world, so it's gonna be physical.
That's what makes people like Stewie so great. Where she goes, the greatness is created.
That's just sports, and I feel like if people don't get it, you don't get sports.